What is your disability and how do you manage? Asparagus. I don't. Doctors have tried medication and it just doesn't help me. Trying to get medical cannabis to help with the depression and anxiety that comes from it, as that helps a bit. Edit. Asperger's. I have Asperger's, not asparagus. Try it with some butter and garlic. Bro, I was so confused at first reading this XD. I'm paralyzed from the waist down due to a spinal cord injury. I manage by conserving my energy for the things that matter most and celebrating my successes while being kind to myself about my failures. I think that's great advice for everyone. Beautifully phrased. Menorrhagia. My periods are so bad I pass out and lose so much blood I have to change every hour if not more. It literally brings my life to a standstill once a month. Gives me anemia and low blood pressure. I am one of the few women praying for menopause. I had a uterine ablation. Total game changer. Not terribly painful. And no more periods for me. My mom dealt with that and was scheduled for an ablation. While she was under, they discovered she actually had a precancerous polyp and they caught it just in time. Scheduled her for a hysterectomy. She was in her late 40s at the time. She is so glad she did it. Feels so much better. I'm wishing good things for you. I have a bum knee from a car wreck. It gives out from time to time with zero warning. This is the best case scenario. When the accident first happened there was a 1 in 4 chance I'd lose the leg above the knee. Did you tear something? When my ACL blew I thankfully had the weird genetic disposition and leg strength that I was able to carry on normally with very little issue and stability problems. With a brace I was even able to continue playing indoor soccer with no problems. However, if I moved wrong my knee would hyperextend and hurt. Once I got my ACL reconstructed 12 years ago. I've not had it happen a single time. Was born with moderate hearing loss in my ears and at age 9, which started to happen months after a car accident, I lost my hearing and started to become severe. So for reference, I used to be able to put headphones on and still be able to hear the song at basically high volume. When I lost my hearing it got increasingly difficult to even hear the lyrics. At age 12 and 17 got my cochlear implants. And it was crazy the little sounds I had missed that I couldn't really hear with my hearing aids. My favorite being Canadian is the sound of hockey sticks on TV. Edit. I manage mostly lip-reading people. I know some sign but I don't really use it. I can hear words and sentences but my brain still has difficulty processing information, so I'll miss what is being said unless I focus on the person speaking. So sometimes I have someone rephrase a sentence just because I could not understand a word. Having severe hearing loss myself, I really identify with the frustration of hear voices, but not being able to pick out words. Knew a guy like this. He's an incredible artist, one of the most positive people I know. It was a blessing to meet him. Very inspiring. Bipolar type 2. Been in and out of mental facilities. Nobody tells you that the worst part is that you may never know you are having a manic episode, but everyone around you does. The ramifications of it is that now I have to walk around second guessing everything I'm saying doing before I do it. It's exhausting. Gosh. Basically came here to post this about the hypomania. It's like, where does bipolar end and where do I begin? I've had so many conversing counseling about this. I hear you. PTSD and or schizophrenia. And I don't. I'm on a heavy dose of antipsychotics that turn my brain to mush. That's pretty scary. I've been on antidepressants and anxiety meds for years and think they're the reason for my personality changes. I don't know how much of me was forced and how much is natural. I don't have trauma, or at least I think I don't, but I can relate to not being able to handle your mental problems. 700 milligrams of Seroquel daily plus others. I feel you. I can't remember where I left my nose half the time. Tourette syndrome. I can't. It's a continued suffering. I think finding open-minded people to be friends might help. I like watching Sweet Anita and am impressed by her adaptation. Same. Mine is I'll laugh at the end of my sentences. Every sentence. And grew up with an abusive dad who was hooage on tone. So he thought I was perpetually mocking him. That was fun. And people still think I'm mocking them or making light. Major clinical depression. Medication. Currently allergic to the ones I'm taking. Fun times. Therapy. Prayer. And napping. Solidarity. The meds I'm on are causing a bit of a problem. Which sucks because they're the best ones I've tried. Good luck. if you end up back on the merry-go-round. Ketamine has shown promising results for treatment-resistant depression, Huntington's disease. Fricks with your head knowing how you are going out. Manage? Barely. I'm a hopeless romantic and optimistic. How do I really manage? Sex with no feelings and tequila older men. Tequila and, I forgot edibles. And alcohol and tequila? I wouldn't say a disability compared to many others, but I was born with a partial left limb, missing below the elbow. I was born in the 80s and the doctor suggested to my parents I wear a paddle to adjust. My mom said no. She'll be fine on her own. I can pretty much do anything I've tried except for driving a manual trans or holding a pool stick properly. I'm sure there's more, but those are the ones that come to mind. Oh, and a manual can opener. Gone through more of those than I care to admit due to the way I hold them. Yes, I know there's electric ones, but I refuse to give up a good fight. As I got older, I wish I got a prosthetic for cosmetic reasons because the staring would get to me. It took years, but I somehow managed not to pay so much attention to it. A good support system has always helped me. No one treats me any different and they allow me to vent without judgment on the days that it does get to me at it. For the record, I wish I was born with 2 hands. I'm in remission from stage 3C testicular cancer with lung metastasis. I've had 10% of my right lung removed, right testicle removed, and I've had at least 40 doses of potent chemo. Basically, I try not to dwell on the experience and view it in a positive manner and build off of the experience. Hang in there, buddy. I got hit with the C word and it screwed me up for a while. It really messes with your mind and nobody understands. Congratulations on your remission. Let's hope it keeps up. The cause is currently undiagnosed, but I have premature arthritis. Like I'm not even 30 yet and already have an insane amount of degradation in my spine, hands, and feet. I have an array of lab work to get done just this week actually. In order to find the cause, I dissociate a lot. It numbs the pain for a little bit. Separating myself from my body is the closest thing I have to feeling healthy. Heat makes it feel slightly more bearable, so I move where it's hot all the time and use heating pads. However, I haven't found a solution that leaves me without pain even for a day. Hey. So at 28 I played like 8 months of mystery diagnosis to find out I had undifferentiated connective tissue disease. Main symptom was early arthritis in way too many joints. For the past almost 2 years I've been treated with a combo of meds and my life has drastically improved. There is help and hope, even if it doesn't feel like it. Was in a car crash at age 14. Spent 7 days in a coma. Damaged my frontal lobes, which are responsible for seeing the consequences of your actions. I used to get so mad and blurt out such dumb stuff, and make so many bad decisions. I'm 32 now. In the last few years I have realized how much of a lunatic I used to be. So I guess I am recovering, and I try to be very nice and polite to people. Mental illness and I manage by collecting disability welfare and using it to try and turn my life around. Since the mental health industry is a sick joke, I've been teaching myself how to cook and exercise and stuff, and hopefully I will soon be able to become economically independent. But that's a tough goal. I also have nearsightedness and have been spending a lot of time outdoors in the sun to try and strengthen my vision. Some good results, some meh. Have you heard of the Ticket to Work program? What have you tried to strengthen your vision? Just curious. ADHD. With impaired recall and anxiety, I don't manage well. Adderall helps a lot but causes insomnia, so I can't use it. I have left hemiplegia and hemi-neglect. I manage by wearing an ankle brace and not driving myself. You have hemi-neglect you are aware of? That's absolutely fascinating. Do you know on the basis that a doctor told you that so you repeat it? Or are you conscious of the desire to ignore part of your body? Do you recognize the neglect on your daily life? As in, do you recognize the side of your body to dress it, clean it, etc.? Do you eat the food on the left side of your plate? I have MES. It can be very difficult. The fatigue is the worst. I teach all day and come home and collapse. School starts tomorrow and my right leg has been dragging. It's my 17th year and I should be feeling confident, but because I can't rely on my body I'm very, very nervous. I have a slew of letters I could throw out, as I'm legally permanently disabled for a variety of reasons. But on good days you'd never know anything was wrong. I.e., a brain that excels at firing wrong, and tissues that just love to grow cysts and aneurysms, some of which add to the constant pain, and a whole bunch of stuff that just flares up. Sounds horrible, but truly it's not terrible all the time. I get through it like most people do, being particular about how I spend my energy allotment for the day, and having fun with things that are worth the trade-off for a few bad days afterwards. Even healthy people do that. They just don't have to actively think about it as much. The best thing I've ever done is to stop fighting all this and accept that this is my life. I could either hurt and be miserable, or hurt and find things to smile about. So instead of thinking about all the things that have been taken away due to my health, I look at it like my days have been opened up to allow me to pursue a lot of hobbies that have no deadlines and no expectations. And that's a huge privilege. It also means our home and our closets are full of a lot of handmade items, which we'd not have were I still working like I used to do. It's trite as hell, but you inspire me. I'm not disabled, but my dad is legally disabled. He has severe chronic arthritis in his knees. I have to put his socks on for him every morning. He can walk around the house, but if he wants to go outside he must use 2 crutches or a wheelchair. I can see the pain in his eyes. He looks like he's lost all self-worth. Whenever he's in pain he might take the anger out on me or my mother by shouting at us when he's responding to us. We know he doesn't mean it and can't help it, so we just let him calm down. It's sad, man. It really is. TL. Doctor, my dad has severe chronic arthritis and is legally disabled. He needs a lot of help and the pain can make him angry sometimes. He feels dehumanized and has lost all self-worth. I am colorblind. It affects everyday life. Apparently I wear disgusting combinations of colors. Thanks, brother. People think I'm attention seeking when I just put on clothes and have really not much clue how they look as a color combination. I have learned that some brands, Tommy, Gant, etc., make clothes that somehow fit even if they are totally different colors. I do mark on the label the color at the counter when I'm buying clothes, but as I wash them often the marker wears away and in the end I don't know what color it was. I don't have enough space to keep my clothes in separate drawers as in one color drawer, and I don't really care that much. Driving a car in the dark is a bitch, but I did manage to get a card. I have really good perception when looking for differences in 2 separate pictures. You can also try Be My Eyes. There's so many volunteers that people answer the call within seconds. And I've helped many colorblind people choose their outfits. I think I can help you. If it were me, this is what I would do. There are several companies that have live phone representatives and excellent customer service. For instance, Orvis, Bean, Land's End, and the Luth Trading Company. Call them up and explain your issue. See how they can guide you through their product lines. Alternatively, just order a lot of black and assorted dark colored clothing, then everything will match. Panda face, panda face, panda face, koala face, koala face, koala face, frog face, frog face, frog face. Depression and anxiety. Bold of you to assume that I manage them. OMG, same. I hear that. Bipolar. I take medication and remain vigilant about my mental state in case I start to slip into depression or mania. Exact same. I have a high frequency hearing loss. I just pretend I heard what you said. Inaudible what? Mumble, I'm sorry. I didn't catch that. Slightly louder mumble asking 3 times is too many. So I will just respond to a question you might have asked but probably didn't. I have terminal colorectal cancer and an ostomy as a result. Dealing with terminal cancer is day by day. I have a great medical team though. The best thing I've found is seeking out a terminal cancer support group. Sure, we don't have the same kind of cancers or treatment, but we have a very dark sense of humor. Support groups really are a lifeline. Managing an ostomy? It's pretty standard, but it's a huge source of anxiety for me. Leaks and whatnot. But I try and remember it saved my life. I have autism and an anxiety disorder. The autism is managed pretty well. The anxiety not so much. It sucks. It really does. I have a joint condition called hypermobility syndrome. I get pains due to overly flexible joints. I've found this condition most noticeable in my hands, which stinks because I love to draw. What I mainly do to help with the pain is to do stretches, or squeeze things like putty. I'm also an extremely slow writer, so that often gets in the way of schoolwork. That still doesn't stop me from drawing though. Even if it takes ages, I still manage to get some decent work done. I have no idea how to wrap up this comment, so have a smiley face. Dear reader, have you tried finger braces? I'm losing strength slowly, starting in my legs and slowly moving to my arms. We aren't sure what's causing it yet, as it's fairly recently and slow developing. Right now I use a rollator so that I can take some weight off my legs, keep stable, and have a seat with me wherever I go. I may end up in a wheelchair someday, or I may discover what's wrong and be able to make a turnaround. Right now I'm managing okay. I work a steady, high-level desk job, so I don't have to worry about high pain days, and I have a house husband who is all too happy to take over and be my errand runner when I can't get off the couch. My main issue is learning how to be disabled and realizing how much of my former life revolved around my legs. I used to dance and walk as my main sources of exercise. I'm relearning life and it's really eye-opening. C6-7 spinal cord injury. Incomplete. 50-75% loss of function. Ambulatory. I manage by getting up in the morning and going to sleep in the evening. Pants on one legs at a time. etc lol. There is no secret to life. It's all just showing up. I have diabetes and I really don't. I don't have the resources to eat healthy. I'm scared of dying because of it and having organ failure in the future. Hopefully as I go into college and become an adult I can be healthier. Sounds like type 1. Please talk to someone who might prescribe you an insulin pump or a permanent sensor. A good doctor can change your life. I don't mean to be critical, but I'm diabetic myself and I find that eating broccoli is way cheaper than eating the way I did that gave me diabetes in the first place. Hell, I drank so many soft drinks that I probably spent at least $1,000 a year on it. Water is damn near free.